So when you're talking about terms, so as a buyer, normally you think, someone's going to negotiate and try and get the best price.
Yep.
But you're saying that that's not necessarily the case.
Well, it's really important to understand what would be the number one kind of motivators for the vendor. Like sometimes the vendor actually would like a longer settlement, so they've got time to go and find where they want to move to next. Or it could be, they want a clean deal. They just want to know that there's no finance involved, or they don't have to wait for a long period to satisfy a finance clause. I'm being a former builder, I can really assess a property's potential and also find the flaws. So we still would probably get a building and pest report, but we can kind of make quicker decisions on whether we think the property is appropriate for our client. So there's quite a lot of time considerations that can really influence that seller, and whether they're those, in many cases, those factors will probably result in us being able to buy at a better price.
And as a general buyer, I'm probably not going to know that, am I?
No, that's right. And when most buyers talk directly with an agent, it's normally when the property is already on the market, and the agent is pretty motivated to try to get it sold quickly in 30 days, and they get their commission faster, and everyone sort of wraps it up quicker. So, but if we get to them early in the process, we tend to find that agents are quite willing to, structure a deal that works for everybody. So.
Have you got any examples of how that's happened, where you've got in early with a property and just managed to do a really good deal for some of your clients?
Oh yeah, there's plenty. There's one we helped a client earlier this year. They were actually farmers from northern New South Wales, and they wanted to buy an apartment in Broadbeach, and they're actually referred to me by a real estate agent who actually they missed out on a property, and the agent passed their details on to me. He didn't have anything else that would sort of suit them. We went to all the agents in the specific suburb that they were looking for and told them about the brief that we had from our clients and what they're after, and we're able to get quite a number of properties that were not yet on the market, that were coming to market, and we were able to get through and inspect them. And the one we purchased, we were the only people to actually inspect it before it went live on the market, and we actually secured the property 2 days before it actually went. The first open home was booked, so we're able to get in nice and early and able to buy that property without having to compete against the broader market. And
so was that beneficial to your buyer because it saved them money, it saved them time looking? What was the benefit to your buyer?
Well, they didn't end up in a competitive situation where every man was after it, The property was a unique property. It had a northeasterly aspect, excellent views. There would have been a lot of high demand for that. So the fact that we were able to get to a good quality property and secure it at the best possible price before we had to compete against multiple offers, it definitely resulted, I believe, in that situation there. We probably saved the client 10 to 15% of the value of the property.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So, and is that common that you can do that?
Yeah, I can't influence what every seller will sell their property for, but I can certainly attest that we will get the best possible deal. We're professional negotiators. We're buying properties on a daily basis for our clients. We know how to get to the best possible terms and deals, structure the deal, and I think it's pretty safe to say we consistently save our clients 2, 3, 5 times what our fees are.
Wow, that's huge.
Yeah.
So those in that scenario, the people were from out of town.
Yeah.
Do I need to be from out of town to use your services? Like if I live on the Gold Coast, is it just as easy for me to buy my own property?
Well, if you do want to buy your own property, you just be like everyone else who's just looking on realestate.com. Oh, this new one's popped up in your alerts. You rush out and you see it, and you're competing against everyone else at the same time. It's the access to the off-market opportunities. Also, the big advantage any buyer has is just having somebody on their side who's genuinely not. I'm not trying to sell to my buyer. Like, I'm just there to help and support them through the process. If they choose not to go with a property that we put forward, that's fine. We'll just keep looking until we find the one that they really want to buy, and then we'll do our absolute best to negotiate for them on that property.
So, all right. So even if I'm local, it's still worth using you because you're going to find stuff that I don't know about.
Absolutely.
And I guess the other thing is, we're not general people. We're not dealing property every day. So there's probably stuff that that we don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's right. Like, most people only buy a property a few times in their life. So, when they do, they jump on and line, and they start looking at properties, and they're educating themselves, and they're talking to different agents, and they're trying to understand the market. But they're doing that kind of like in an unguided way. Where we are professional property negotiators. We're doing it all the time. We're studying the market. We're looking at all the recent sales, and we can advise people where we see true value for the property, because it's not an exact science. It's not like, at the moment, I think I looked up Commonwealth Bank shares are like $112.88. So exactly how much a share is worth, yet you'd probably still go and talk to a financial advisor before you bought shares, just to sort of say, where does that sit in the market? Is that value? Do you see them going up or down? But people are off buying properties, and they're just, flying solo on it. They're not taking any advice from anybody, and it's kind of like an infinite product. A property is quite often just worth what someone's prepared to pay for it. And, to have somebody in your corner, guiding you, explaining, what other sales are and where true value probably lies is, everyone should be doing it.
Yeah, because you've got your lawyers, your accountants, your bookkeepers, your coaches, your everybody around in different things. Why is it, do you think, that a lot of people don't use a buyer's agent?
I just think it's a pretty new concept. People aren't aware that they can have the support's actually there. We all know you've got to use a lawyer when you do your conveyancing, and you're going to go to a finance broker. You're not going to try and get your finance yourself unless you've got a really good relationship with your bank. But everyone says you should always shop around, and a broker is probably the better way to go, so you can get some more options on the table. But people seem to just think that they have to go and look at property and make the decision all on their own. And I just think it's a new concept in Australia. Like in America, in every transaction, there's a buying agent and a selling agent. So it's just commonplace elsewhere. It's just not that. The concept just is pretty new here.
And it sounds like it's growing in Australia. So how do you differentiate yourself, I guess, from maybe other buyers, agents that are coming into the market?
Well, I guess where I see my benefit is that I've lived on the Gold Coast since 1970, so I've lived here my whole life. I did a carpentry apprenticeship, and I was a builder for 25 years. I'm still actually a fully licensed builder now. Then I went and retired from building and did 6 years selling real estate, predominantly between Broadbeach and Burleigh Heads. And I've lived in these suburbs. I've owned 35 properties myself personally on the Gold Coast, bought and sold, and I've lived and breathed this market. And I guess just through all my years in business, the negotiation skills I've acquired, and you've got to try to structure a deal that works for everybody. And my job is to represent that buyer and get them the best possible deal.